What is going on, family? Hope y'all been doing good. Hope y'all been doing well. Welcome back to another video. And honestly, ever since the announcement of JJK Cursed Clashed and then the game is finally out, we've been seeing some gameplay and things like that. We've seen the reviews. Some people saying it's not too bad. We've seen some people saying this shit is the worst game to ever come out. I don't think it is, right? Where is anime games going? Like, that is the question of today. And even before Cursed Clashed, when of course Naruto Storm Connections, that game came out and basically flopped, for lack of a better word. The multiplayer wasn't the best. Story mode was, if you ask, depending on who you ask, the story mode is not too bad. It has its own original story and stuff like that. Of course, with Boruto and everything. But the multiplayer was just not good. You can't play with your friends. Like, there's no tournament mode. Like, there's not a lot of stuff to, really do in the game. You know what I'm saying? Besides like doing ranked and everything. And even looking at the game before that, looking at the Demon Slayer game, it was basically like a Storm clone, where it was like it's just damn near the same thing with the story mode, but again, multiplayer was lacking, the modes were lacking, the game in itself was lacking. It didn't last pretty long, and that seems like the running thing for all these anime games. Like, no matter what the anime is behind it, when it comes to like MHA or One Punch Man or whatever. The game comes out, maybe it's a little bit gimmicky, maybe it sticks around for a couple of weeks, people have their fun with it, they pay the $60-$70 and then it just disappears off the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad too, because a lot of these anime are very, very popular. That's why they do get the game, obviously, when it comes to even not looking at Dragon Ball, not looking at Naruto, but the more recent ones with Demon Slayer, JJK, One Punch Man, MHA, even Black Clover tried their luck, and I think that shit fly. I don't know if that game even came out. That shit was ass. It's like, why can't they just really sit down and make a good anime game? And I know a lot of people want, like, I guess again, looking at Dragon Ball, like even Naruto as well, but I guess with connections, it kind of like is tainting it a little bit. But Dragon Ball has always had good games, right? Whether it be Kakarot, whether it be the game coming out this year with Sparking Zero, whether it be Xenoverse, whether it be Fighters, like, they don't have a lot of misses. And of course, they probably have some, but compared to all the other anime, like Dragon Ball, they be eating. Like, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you are constantly eating. Consistently eating too. Like, the quality doesn't really drop. I know Kakarot maybe it had mixed reviews and things like that, but for the most part, it was a pretty good game. You know what I'm saying? And even looking at something like One Piece as well. Like, One Piece has had its bangers back in the day and stuff like that. But even One Piece, like when it came, what game was it? World Seeker. I think that's kind of like another Kakarot in the sense of like some people liked it, some people didn't. But it's like, there's so many old games that have came out looking at the Storm series, looking at Fighters and things like that, where like or even Xenoverse, where even if you copy that exact template and just put it over another game, I know maybe like some people would still be mad, because there's always going to be haters, people who are going to be mad, oh, there's no innovation, it's just the same exact game but with just different characters or different stuff. But I'd rather take that than what they're giving us. Like, imagine they took JJK, if they're going to do this whole arena fighter thing, I guess you could say they tried it with Demon Slayer, where they took Demon Slayer and they kind of just put Storm on top of it, but like they didn't put the good things about Storm on top of it. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, you could tell it was not enough time into it, not enough care, very unfinished. It's like, when we say copy it, like copy the entirety of the best parts of those games and then putting on something else. Even looking at something like Xenoverse, coming from Dragon Ball, of course, Xenoverse has all the customization and everything like that. You can imagine a lot of games like that, like even like with a Hunter x Hunter, or even with a Black Clover, even with even like on some like more unorthodox kind of things, like even like a Blue Lock or something like that, where like you still have that same customization abilities and things like that. And it has its own original story. You can have some of the characters from the anime covers come and pop in, like mentor you and do da 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 da. Like, you can make something out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everything has to be an arena fighter at the end of the day too. Of course, I know that they definitely sell. Like, people want to see, especially if it's going to be a shonen anime, they want to see them box. They want to see like all the flashy special moves and things like that. That's like one of the main selling points right now for the whole JJK Cursed Clash thing. They have, Gojo doing this domain expansion and things like that. But the game could be so much more. And even specifically looking at JJK Cursed Clash, there's been a lot of like I said, like people kind of in the middle. Like this, of course, we're not saying the game is perfect, but it does have a lot of potential. With a couple more DLCs, with a couple more quality of life updates, it could be something a lot better. But it's like, if the game's gonna come out for something that's as popular as JJK is, coming off the movie, the second season, and everything, the game should be finished at launch. And I'm not saying they can't add DLC and stuff like that in the future, but it shouldn't be looking like a little bit of like a floaty mess. Like they're saying like only thing that's really good about the game is the multiplayer aspects. That's why, you know, and I guess that's a good selling point, right? People want to play with their friends, right? A lot of people who are just kind of like maybe a little bit casuals, don't really play anime games like that. Maybe their first anime is watching JJK. They love the characters, they love everything. They're gonna buy the game and want to play with their friends. But they're saying like every other mode is ass when it comes to like the story mode or anything else. It's just only the whole 2-player co-op thing that's the good part about the game. It's like, I don't want to buy a game that's $70 to only play that. And the thing is, you know, it's not going to last that long. It's probably going to last maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month at tops, and this is going to disappear into the place of the earth. And maybe when they update it and add new characters, maybe people come back around, play it for a couple more days, maybe a week, and it's going to go back to being dead again. The game shouldn't be like that, bro. They should be a lot more fleshed out, a lot more thorough, a lot more modes, a lot more things, a lot more praise put into it. Especially with how popular these anime are. Like the fact that MHA has not got one like good, strong, consistent game up to this point, and even when it's something, maybe something does look kind of cool, they just throw it on mobile, right? They make it a mobile game. Even for One Punch Man, even for Black Clover, like even I'm surprised we haven't gotten certain things like even like a good AOT game. Or yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Fire Force as much, but even Fire Force, like I can see that being kind of fire too, with the dynamics and the fighting styles and things like that. Like there's no reason why every single time like an anime game drops, there's so many excuses being thrown around. There's so many, oh, like it just needs some quality of life. It just needs this, it just needs that. But they're charging you 70. They're charging you 60. The game's unfinished. It looks floaty. Is lagging. There's not a lot of modes. The story mode's not too good. It's like either one or the other two. It's either like the story mode's it's like pretty decent, and then the multiplayer is terrible. Or the multiplayer is pretty decent and the story is terrible. Like there has to be some type of balance here. And I know they're kind of trying to pump these out, kind of, you know, align them again, because we talked about last video how like Pokemon be releasing their games, kind of trying to align with like the other stuff when it comes to the merch, when it comes to the anime and stuff like that. It's probably the same thing with these things, right? They want to build off the hype. Like the anime season 2 just ended for JJK, so of course they're gonna want to build off the hype, make as much money as possible. They're gonna put the game out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, can we just take some care? Can we take some years to make these games looking crispy? Like JJK Cursed Clashed, like it could be like I understand it has a pretty decent foundation. It could be a lot better with some improvements and some updates and stuff like that. But why don't they just do that before they put the game out? And I understand like the people are being put on timelines and stuff like that. For people who are actually making the game, that's probably not even up to them. It's out of their hands. It's probably like the higher ups, people who own everything, who are like, nah, we need it by this time, and you have to have it whatever the finished product. We're just gonna put it out. We don't really give a fuck, right? I understand that, but it's like, I guess it's kind of the same thing with the whole Pokemon stuff. Like they know it's gonna sell, they know it's a cash grab, and they understand like no matter what we do, y'all gonna buy the game. Especially for, like I said, for the casual anime watcher. A lot of these anime are the first ones, even before JJK. Even looking at something like, you know, like One Punch Man or MHA, they're very, very popular. So they know they can just kind of put out whatever, and people are gonna play it. Even the other game that came out, I think it was free, to be fair. The MHA Battle Royale game that came out, I think that game was pretty old though. I think they said like that game was already in Japan for a minute before we got it over here in America. But even that game was kind of just like wonky too and stuff like that. So even when they kind of try to branch out and do things differently that are not arena fighters, you can kind of tell like they're still not putting as much like care, and they're kind of just like riding trends and kind of just interjecting whatever anime to whatever thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. Like going into the future, I really hope like some type of because of course y'all may have seen as well, they're making a new Hunter x Hunter game. And we all thought it was going to be an arena fighter at first, but it's looking like it's going to be like a 3v3, to maybe on some more of like a Dragon Ball Fighters type of thing instead of like a, you know, like a Storm. And honestly, bro, the thing is that Hunter x Hunter is like one of my favorite anime of all time. Like it was for a very long time. I watched the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then Loki, they're still kind of like this for me, honestly. But I want to have a lot of hope for that Hunter x Hunter game, because I genuinely do love Hunter x Hunter. And like I said, like people who really love this anime, they want them to see them to do good. They want them to come out and have a good game, to prosper, and to have everything to kind of like be fit in order, right? But like then you start seeing the gameplay, you start seeing the trailer, you start seeing how this stuff's gonna work. And then when the game finally comes out and you're seeing the reviews, you're seeing like maybe your favorite content creator play the game. I understand like the whole thing of like, oh, I want to play the game myself and try it out before I start taking anybody else's reviews or anybody else's input in. But at the same time, again, the game is $70-$60, bro. You're not getting a refund. So if you buy the game and you hate that game, like the game's actually ass, there's not a lot of stuff into it. That's money wasted. You know what I'm saying? So I get both sides of like wanting to try the game for yourself, but at the same time, like there's reviews and stuff like that out for a reason. And I don't know, bro. But looking at the whole Hunter x Hunter thing, I hope it. I mean, like we haven't seen any gameplay or nothing like that. I think we only saw like introductory to like a couple of characters. It was like, of course, Gon, Killua, I think Hisoka, I think Kurapika. I think the old man, like the old man that was fighting Miriam towards the end, him. And I think it was Luario too. I think Luario was there too. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it looks, I don't know, it looks kind of interesting. But like again, I feel like the only people who actually get the care and it's not like they're always put out a hit either. But like Dragon Ball fans, like I said, they're always eating. Like with Sparking Zero coming back this year, and like they know it hasn't been a full gameplay trailer. But they showed the whole like Goku versus Vegeta, like all their transformations so that they're gonna be in the game. It looked crisp, bro. It looks really, really good. It looks very, very polished. So it's like, how can we receive something like that, or even looking at Xenoverse, like looking at fighters, right? And looking at every other game, like again, like even if y'all don't want to be innovative, y'all don't want to be creative, at least just take this exact blueprint from these other games and just interject them into the other anime. Again, of course, there's still people who are gonna complain, but like I'd rather just have that, dog. Genuinely, like if you went like this, okay, we're gonna take fighters, we're gonna take Hunter x Hunter, put it in fighters. We're gonna take Xenoverse, we're gonna it has with the customization, different original story. We're gonna take Black Clover and make a Xenoverse and just put it out into the world, and like make sure it's the same type of like quality, not half-ass it. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below how y'all feeling about the anime games and like where it's going and stuff like that. Are y'all hype about of course I know a lot of people are hype about Sparking Zero. How do you feel about JJK Cursed Clash? How do you feel like if you have the game, if you've seen the reviews and stuff like that, how do you feel about it? And if you have seen like the little bit of what we gotten from Hunter x Hunter, how do you feel about that game in terms of like, do you think it's gonna be something worthwhile? You know what I'm saying? Or is it gonna be like another just like they're probably gonna throw all like the important characters in there, throw Miriam in there, throw like Kite in there or some shit like that, and then it's gonna be like another like half-assed floaty, like maybe like one side of the other is better than the other. Like we're gonna have a really good story mode, but then have a trash multiplayer, or have a decent multiplayer, but then have a trash story mode. It's gonna be like kind of like a repeat of what we usually get. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all. Love you so much. Thank you for all the support in the last video too. Like talking about the whole Pokemon versus Power World thing. A lot of y'all were commenting too, kind of giving your takes, talking about a lot of other monster tamer games and stuff like that, and basically kind of agreeing in a sense of like Pokemon really is not gonna step up their game. And looking at all these anime games too, looking like Bandai Namco and things like that, people who kind of publish these games, a lot of stuff is just definitely cash grabs. Of course, we have a few diamonds in the rough every once in a while, but it's kind of few and far between, and it's very, very sad because anime is such a big medium, and then genuinely should have a lot more time and care into it. But I guess since anime is so popular now compared to how it was when it was very, very niche, they're just kind of, it's like a machine now. It's just like, oh, what new anime comes out, it gets really, really popular, pumps out. And then like even like something like freaking Kagurabachi and all the memes and stuff like that, they're saying the anime is kind of popping off right now. It's probably gonna get an anime probably like next year, maybe the year after. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a game like right after that shit with all the like the important characters that is just like a floaty mess too. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time.